Sarah sets down her book with a sigh and leans back against the solid, unpainted wall. She watches the fingertips of her right hand gently trace the serrated pattern of a smooth scar along her left hand. How long had it been since that broken bottle's emerald teeth sunk into her flesh? She exhales a mixture of relief, regret, and confusion, tossing her book to the foot of her thin mattress. Damn it, how long has it been? A full year at least, 14 months perhaps? She still hasn't gotten used to sleeping here. Her old bed was softer. She remembers scorning the morning sunlight on her sleeping eyes. Why did the window have to be on the east side of the bedroom? These days she often misses the warmth of morning's light after a restless evening, or the opportunity to turn from it into his arms, the arms which sent that jagged glass rending its way down her hand that night. Sarah was assured she'd be safer here and never have to deal with such tragedies again. No more violence induced by alcohol or a husband like him to worry about. Her mind has been prepared to let go of that night for months, but her skin will never let it forget. The scarred flesh disappears into the luscious blonde locks of her matted hair. When she was young, that hair made her look so sweet and gentle according to the adults she encountered. It was always brushed and carefully displayed. She's washed it lazily in the shower after that night, but hasn't since brought herself to run a brush through it as she does with her wandering fingers now. She reflects on the promise that her living here was for safety, but the damage was already been done. No matter who receives post-traumatic therapy or who gets locked up, men like him still inhabit the world, as do women like her. Sarah presses the scar against her pale lips, contemplating what a knack such men and women seem to have for finding each other. She's getting used to the bland meals the staff here provide. They're nothing like the flavorful dishes she whipped up in her kitchen, where blood spread over the white linoleum when she saw it last. The night when they would both leave home strapped into separate unfamiliar vehicles, a police car and an ambulance. The people who serve her food are usually friendly, but Sarah can't let herself trust them. She's become aware of her own irrational paranoia since the event, but can do little to purge herself of it, despite the frequent and seemingly less effective therapy sessions. Some cuts just bleed too deeply to ever scar over properly. It has to have been at least 13 months and 2 weeks for sure since that last night together, when alcohol was stronger than inhibitions. The night both lives were permanently damaged. The night Sarah is certain neither can forget. That look on his face still inhabits her dreams as they bleed into nightmares. She doesn't look at herself in the mirror anymore, but she can tell that dark crescent moons hang just below her soft blue eyes. Sarah falls sideways on her thin mattress, the firmness of which evokes memories of the competitive cheerleading and gymnastic mats that she knew in her youth. Sarah Kane, a social butterfly. Everybody seemed to love the athletic cheerleader and gymnast whose smile could light up the gym and whose popularity never seemed to get the best of her. Everybody loved me, Sarah repeats quietly to herself in the fetal position, staring at her hands. A man in a dark uniform interrupts her gentle chant. Today, she's supposed to see him. The therapist thinks a visitation may offer closure and help her recovery as she tries to put the pieces back together. Before she knows it, Sarah's sitting patiently, staring through a thick sheet of plexiglass as he takes a seat on the opposite side, a stoic look in his eyes, very different from that expression which haunts her slumber. No glass shards nor alcohol's aroma can penetrate this wall. Phones hang on either side of the transparent divide, but neither of them reach for one. She peers into those solid, proudly fearless eyes. A twisted grin curls from her lips, while her own eyes explore his countenance. Their last night together, alcoholism took complete control. Sarah not only sparked a meaningless argument, but drew first blood when she swung that broken bottle across her husband's sober face in a sporadic, drunken rage. Only enforcing her wrist away from himself was the small, jagged wound notched into Sarah's left hand. He was unable to pry the glass from her powerful grip. Her strength set her free, and another raking slash made its way over part of the thin man's face and one of his arms as they raised defensively. The horrified and bloody face the paramedics tended to that night grew into a tragic mosaic of scars that stare back at Sarah now. Instead of relief or regret at the sight, she breaks into hysterical laughter so loud it shakes him through the plexiglass. His stoic eyes turn glassy as her palms smash against the clear barrier between them. He stands up, leaving the asylum and that demented laughter behind him while guards escort its flailing source back to her cell.